Welcome to NiaTalk. This is my bestie Amanda. She is Puerto Rican and she's amazing. And we are gonna have this really dynamic conversation. You will get triggered, so like, comment, subscribe, and then clock out if you want. But stay here if you're cool for it. So I was recently talking to a dude about interracial dating and my problems with it, and I talked to him about why I question a lot of men before I actually go on a date with them if they dated outside their race, because a lot of black men have trauma with dating outside their race. And he agreed with me. Everything was going well. And then he started saying, Black women do it too. Black women do it too. And I was like, no. I was like, do you not understand how misogyny works? Do you not understand how colorism works? Colorism and misogyny and racism are go hand in hand. It's not a thing of 50-50. Everyone does it. Like, no. And I explained to him so many events that we're not going to really get into a lot of them, but so many events that have happened to women that I know. And he just dismissed it. But the number one thing that I didn't like was that he did not understand how black women are at disadvantage because we are women. We're not just black, we're women. We're
Mhm.
beautiful, amazing women, but we're women. And in society, women go beneath men. And let's say
Mhm.
this particular one. And also, I told him, I said, what's your example of interracial dating in your friend group? I said, what is the gender? And he said, well, I have a black guy friend and a Latino. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And I even talked about the word and the framing. Like, I get bothered by the word Latina a lot, and I've talked to you about it, because I feel like a lot of black men put a pedestal on that word, the same thing as, like, like a snow bunny and stuff. I feel like even though it's politically
Mhm.
correct, I feel like black men put a fetishization on it and a fantasy instead of just
A
being
lot of people
politically
do,
correct. I think
unfortunately.
with the word Latina, a lot of people associate, like, sexiness and spicy in quotations. When if a black woman were to do it, we would be ratchet or ghetto.
Acceptable
Um,
aggressiveness.
yeah, I don't. I told him, I was like, that's an issue, and I said the first example you gave me was a black guy, and I said, do you see how I'm saying this is an issue? When I talked to him and I said I get triggered by seeing constant affirmation of black men not wanting to stay in the black culture. And then another thing we said too was how he kept calling me sister, and he said my sisters, and I was like, come on. Like, I date black men that love black women, but we're not sisters. We're not related to you. And I think that's where the problem is. It gives me Steve Lacy vibes. Like, where he said,
Mhm.
I don't want to date people who are my family. You feel like you know me just because we have the same skin. And that is not true. And he said to me, that guy I was talking to, he said, well, I know a black woman struggles. And I was like, he said we have the same struggles. And I
Clearly
said, so you
not.
think that and I said, so you think that Latin women don't have a struggle? And then he was just like, I don't know their struggle. And that's where I just hung up, because I was like, you think that other races don't have a struggle?
Right.
So yeah, so it's just like a heated conversation. But we talked, me and my bestie, about what we thought. And what was your thoughts on this type of topic?
Um, but basically, we were just talking about too about if you're going to argue a point, especially about racism and how if you're trying to say basically like women do it too, women do it too. I feel like that framing is very incorrect. Sorry, I'm hearing myself and it's kind of freaking me out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. But
Mm.
anyways, if you're trying to say that women do something as well, like anybody in
Wait,
the
let me
world could
try
do
to let me mute
anything.
myself. Let me mute myself, and then let me know if you can still hear yourself.
Okay, yeah. Did you mute? Okay, yeah, that's better. Thank you. Um, but I just feel like if you're trying to say that women do something too, you're coming at something without the common knowledge and foresight to just misogyny in general. Like it makes no sense to say women do something too when anybody in the world could do the same thing. Anybody could participate in misogyny, women and men and racism. We all know this, but it's more so about women are, like you said, at a constant disadvantage, and misogynoir, being black and a woman, is multiple disadvantages. I like the example that people say when they talk about people's struggles, and that struggle isn't a competition. We're not in fucking struggle Olympics. Sorry for cursing. But it's like, you know, people's struggles do add up when there are different levels and layers to struggle. And being a woman and being black they're both separate struggles, but also common struggles at the same time. It's like, especially as a man, though, you can't fully understand what somebody goes through as a woman. Um, you can empathize, you can try to understand, but that also you won't understand if you don't listen. So I just feel, one of the points that he made was that, oh, you're listening to too many females. You're listening to too many women, too many female perspectives. Yeah, because who do you think is going through this issue? If you don't feel as a man that you're going through the issue that we're going through, why do you think that? Like, you just don't think that it suddenly exists? That makes no sense. And I think that if you like, go into an argument saying women do it too, you're missing the point. We know things people could do the same thing in different genders, different races, but it's more so about what is systemically a problem. And systemically, there is a racial and gender issue when it comes to dating. Um, and it's like, even the whole thing that statistically, when black men get into an interracial relationship, they're more likely to end quicker and tend to be in violence. And when it happens to be the opposite, when black women go into an interracial relationship, they usually last longer because the intention is different. And also because systemically, it has to be that way. It has to be that way. Women have to think about things that men don't have to think about in a relationship. We have to think about protecting ourselves sexually. We have to think about, um, you know, being in a relationship with somebody that has money, being in a relationship with somebody that, can protect you. Being in a relationship is different for a woman than entering it as a man as a whole. And that goes for any race. But I feel like people want to act like that's not true, that we have the same struggles as men and women. No, we don't. No, we don't. And if you come into a relationship thinking into an argument, sorry, thinking that that is the case, then you're going to miss the point. And I just think that sadly, like, people like this aren't worth arguing with just because they don't understand basic truths. They don't understand that racism and misogyny is systemic. It's an issue that affects all of us, no matter what your race or gender is, it will affect you just in different ways. And I think that if you don't understand that and you're going to come as an angle like everybody does this, you do it too, you're missing the point and you're just trying to play devil's advocate. And that's not how to win an argument. That's not how to have a conversation. That's not how to fix anything or get anywhere. It doesn't make sense to do that. Especially if you want to say that you're trying to understand somebody. That's not how you understand anybody, you know?
I
Sorry.
agree.
You could go ahead.
All right, no, it's okay. Um, I agree with that, and I loved everything you said and talking about being a woman and being black and dating. I love that, like, you always figure out the words because I be so emotional. Sometimes I just don't get the right words out. So I'm glad you're here to talk about it because you see everything that I go through. Um, there's nothing I can do to fix it, but it does make me like sad and cry. Like, it's something that a lot of black women go through. And to hear someone that even claims to be pro black say that black women do it too, you're not pro black. Because if you were pro black, you would be pro woman. And you're not pro woman
Mhm.
because you just said women do it too. So you don't get the point that I was trying to even make to you, that there is a problem. I said I have a trigger where I see black men constantly getting into marriages and relationships with the same stereotypical colorist situation. And I feel like Latin people don't even care about us. And I'm not even trying to say that in a rude way, but I'm just saying as in when a man gets into a relationship with a Latin person, I don't think that woman
Mhm.
is thinking about everything like our ancestors. She don't care. She don't
No.
care. And I
And
say
it's
this, maybe I shouldn't say
yeah.
care about us, but let me say in a way of, because you love me, but it's like I'm saying in a way of there's already an issue in Latin culture that
Mhm.
he even said he doesn't know. And I tried to tell him what it was. I said I lived in Spain
Right.
and I tried to tell
Mhm.
him what it was. And he just disregarded it and said, well, a black woman brings home a white man and, the dad doesn't like him. That's a struggle. I was like, oh my God.
And
Like,
I could speak on it too as somebody who is Latin. Like, I think that people don't understand that due to colonialism, we all deal with misogyny and colorism in every culture that is non-white. We all deal with the same things. They all come about though and manifest in different ways, in my opinion. But usually it tends to be the same. We have the same issues, and I think that thinking one culture doesn't have a problem just because you're not actively in it or you weren't raised in that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. um, Growing up, especially even for like people who are like Afro Latinos, they talk about how their treatment is different. Like you can't not acknowledge the fact that this is a problem. Even a lot of people who don't even want to claim their blackness as Latinos. Like this is only something that is recently, I feel like, well, that's a lie because I feel like in the past there were a lot of people who could not be ambiguously black as a Latino. Like you had to claim your blackness and they loved that. Like, Celia Cruz, like a lot of people who were very strong in their blackness and they were had racial movements. They were in that. But a lot of people, you know, especially with our colonization, like we have tried to erase that part of us and just be like, well, we're all Latino, we're all the same. No, like trying to say we're all the same is ignoring our diversity, and our diversity is what makes us strong. Like I feel like a lot of Latinos do that. It's very sad, and a lot of them want to forget where they come from, especially, which is why a lot of Latinos vote for Trump. They vote for things against them, for people against them, because they feel like once they leave their home country and they feel the disparity, they come here, they think that they could just have a proximity to whiteness because of how they look. And it doesn't even matter if they're Afro-Latino or not. Like they might still feel this way and think that they can have some kind of proximity to whiteness because they don't. It's like when you come to America, you have to choose a race. You have to either be white or black, which is not true for anybody. Like this is a construct, but it's more so like when you do that, it's like you have to choose division. You have to choose to abandon something when it's like you shouldn't even have to. You shouldn't have to choose. Like we should not have to choose between one or the other. But that affects dating, that affects how people think, that affects how people vote, that affects how people interact with each other. And a lot of times, like, even nowadays with all these protests with ICE, it's like a lot of these people did not show up for Black people during BLM, during these protests. Did they? No, but now they're asking for help from Black people because they know Black people show up to protest. They know they do. And it's like you can't ask for help from a community that you did not yourself want to help. Like there's an irony there that is very sad, you know. And at the end of the day, like trying to choose white proximity is never the answer because it'll always end in the same thing, which is why ICE is a problem right now and everybody is very scared. We are all seen the same by white people. It's just whether or not you will choose to bow down to them or not, you know.
no, I completely agree. I feel like that's my point, and I'm glad that you brought it up. I feel like everyone focuses on you're a bitter black woman. You're mad that black men are dating beautiful Latinas, and I say that in a way because black men make it a thing to note that black people have been told to hate ourselves. We've been told to hate our hair, hate our look. You know. I want to read this comment. Hold on. I don't know how to answer that question. Sorry, not trying to be rude. Maybe
Uh,
Amanda, do you have an answer? I don't
I feel
know.
like
I think it's a real question. Hi, Ali.
I would say like, I mean, I'm Caribbean too. Hi, but I would say like, if you do like, this is the thing is like, I feel like people don't understand when we talk about interracial dating, people think we're demonizing it. We're not, but it's more so like we should be able to criticize why people date outside their race. Like you should not feel that you need to date outside your race just because somebody is telling you to do so or that it's better. Like nothing is better. Nothing is inherently better. Nothing is, it is all about intention. And I think that, especially as a woman, just, protect yourself. If you feel like there are signs that somebody, like, I am a white Latino person, like, and I'm also Caribbean, but it's like if you feel like there are signs in somebody that they are showing colorism or fetishizing you for your skin or for your culture, like, take note of that. Somebody, and there's a difference between love and acceptance versus fetish. Somebody could love your culture, but they should love theirs too. They should want to share with you their culture, and you should likewise want to share in their culture, and vice versa. Like, that's what would make something beautiful. Like, it's not, oh, you're fetishizing something, and you're stereotyping something, and that's the only reason why you want to be around this person. You think that you can gain something from them. Like, that's not love. Like, that's fetish, and that's weird.
Sorry,
um
that's I want to intervene because that's also another point that we said
mhm.
in this conversation. I tried to tell this man, it was a black guy too, and he only dates black girls, right? I tried to tell him, I said, do you understand that when a black man dates a Latin woman, they are not looking to share their black culture with them. They
Mhm.
are looking to erase that. I'm a curse right now, that shit. They're looking to erase the black off of their faces, the black off of their children's kinks and curls. That's
Right.
the difference between when a black woman dates outside her race. Oh my God, there's that girl who does that amazing content. She has a biracial daughter and she be doing her hair and
Mhm.
her daughter be talking about how people not nice. You know the girl I'm talking
Mhm.
about?
Yeah, yeah,
And her
yeah.
whole, she's a dark skinned woman. Her whole entire is devoted to her daughter understanding her kinks and her curls and her coils as a,
Mhm.
like, do you understand that? And that's what I'm gonna bring this to. I had a friend. She used to be my friend, but she was struggling. She was Puerto Rican and she was struggling with her blackness all her life, and she felt comfortable around me because I accepted her and even understood that she saw things as a struggle. And she loved that I wore my natural hair because it's not easy. Think about, you are a Afro Latina and you're around black girls. Once again,
Right.
New York, we all got weaves in our hair. You don't understand why. You don't. You're not gonna know how to do your hair. We got weaves in our hair, we're not liking our hair, or we are liking our hair, and you're trying to differentiate who likes their hair, who doesn't, who's just protecting it versus who just you don't know. You're just assuming, oh, we told you this is a protective style, but did you know that there was something deeper in our culture as black people, where
Mhm.
there are some people who can't even show their natural hair because of colonialization and how we feel. So it's like, I know what you're trying to, like, figure it out, right? But with her, instead of her mother, because her mother was not black, her mother
Yeah.
was Latina, she cut off all her hair. Her mother never taught her how to do her hair, ever.
Mhm.
Her mother never taught her how to do her hair. So that is my point when it comes to gender and race and the difference. There is a whole channel. I gotta add her channel. It's beautiful, where she is doing her daughter's hair. And her daughter is confused
Yeah.
on why people are just so mean. And her daughter is so cute. And she has a white husband that is
Mhm.
learning her black culture. So you get what
And
I
this is
mean?
the thing too. I'll respond to her next comment after, but this is the thing too. Like, why there is a stereotype that you know biracial kids with a white mom act differently than those with a black mom, because it's true. When you have somebody like, this also has to do with misogyny, in my opinion. A lot of times when a mother is herself is black, she will raise her kid to feel black. She will raise her kid within blackness. And it's also because you're a woman, you're expected to do your kid's hair, you're expected to do the hygiene part, you're expected to do these things. And a man, usually don't do shit if they're a shit person. So it's kind of like, when it comes to the vice versa, if you don't even take the time to learn your kids' culture, that they will be, because they will be black, regardless of your race, they will be. Um, and so it's just kind of like, if you don't care, then that's why a lot of these biracial kids don't know how to do their hair. They don't know about their culture because the man doesn't care and neither does the woman. If neither of them care, then these kids are just lost. And a lot of them are trying to reclaim that. A lot of them feel a type of way. And it also is the reason why a lot of them are just pieces of shit, because they don't understand that and they take it out on other people because they feel lost. They don't feel accepted. Um,
And she
and
said
to
that, by
talk
the way.
about what
My ex friend said that. She said that,
yeah.
and it was like so sad. Like, we're not friends anymore because, once again, that she had a lot of issues racially, like that she needs to navigate. But she said
Yeah.
she was a terrible person and went through some terrible things because
Mhm.
of her mom being Latina and her dad being black. She went through a lot, and
And
I feel like people
yeah.
discredit these experiences to believe that the world is kumbaya. Also, there's 7 people
Mhm.
in the chat. Thank you for being here so late.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, share the video, subscribe. My name is Nia. Bessie's name is Amanda. But let's get back to the conversation. Sorry.
Even somebody I'm talking to now, like he's Afro Latino. And it's also like it's interesting because I think he has a brother that is not doesn't look like him, and he looks, he's way darker, has kinkier hair, he has an afro, and he felt badly about himself for his blackness growing up because he felt inferior to his like whiter brother. And it's just sad that that's a narrative that we have because of, the miscegenation or the interracial mixing that was forced on us to quote unquote purify our race when we were, just indigenous people and black people on the island that were colonized. Like that's the case. And to read your comments, Ali or Ollie, yeah, it's good that you don't feel fetishized. I understand feeling concerned because a lot of people, unfortunately, are very ignorant, especially like I will say if his parents are kind of like first gen or like immigrants or not really aware of American culture in general. If they're not around a lot of other people, it's kind of hard. Even if they're like meaning well, they might not always understand. And I think that, it is a real fear people have, that somebody else's, their parents' partners may not accept them. And I think, it's important to know that somebody's parent, like you're not dating their parents. At the same time, your partner should protect you. They should stand up for you, they should protect you. And if that even means cutting off family members for their racist actions, if that's the case, like know that that's important
And let me
because
say
that's your
something
life,
too.
you
Sorry
know?
to cut you off. I agree with that because when I was in high school, there was a boy, his name was Pablo. He was Mexican. And
Mhm.
he told me to my face, "You are the most beautiful girl ever, but I cannot date you because my parents are racist." So, this is what I mean by I want black men to understand what the fuck black
Right.
women experience. For a black guy, when they go into a family,
Mhm.
nobody gives a shit because they are a man.
Mhm.
Even if they got something to say, they don't because of misogyny. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
had to put that in there
Also
and let you know the
also
experience.
because I think that I mean both black men and women are fetishized, but in different ways, I feel. And I feel like men are more openly fetishized by different races because of the fact that they're men, and there are these stereotypes around black men, sexual stereotypes that I feel like a lot of people perpetuate, whether it's true or it's
And
not.
wait, can I cut you off? Sorry, not to
Yeah.
cut you off, but I'm saying that because I think what you're saying is so valid. And when I was on the
Mhm.
phone with that man, I was having a conversation about my worries of dating and all this other stuff. I told him, I said, we're gonna call it adult entertainment because we're not allowed to say PORN,
Yeah.
corn.
Corn.
But I brought it up to him and I said adult entertainment is so racist and it's affected young black men that were, incels and decided to go to so many different things in life and it's affected them and how they date. They think dating is sex. They think it's sex work when it's not. And you know what that he told me? He said, "Oh, adult entertainment is different from reality." Like he was telling me like my opinion was invalid basically because those men are not thinking about that's just what they're watching. He was saying that what men watch to get
Doesn't
off
affect them.
does not affect them. That's what he said to me.
Yeah, that's a lie. I think adult entertainment, affects everybody. It affects all of us because the things that we see, especially like, you go deep, you find out who this industry is owned by. Of course, it's white people. What they're perpetuating in the image of women in um XXXX industry, whatever. Um, it's just like we know that these images of women are misogynistic. They often promote grape grape culture. Can I say that? They often
Yeah,
promote
you could say that, or you could
violence.
say R,
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
our culture. They often
I know
promote
it sounds
violence.
terrible, but YouTube's annoying.
They often promote violence against women. And I'm not saying that I'm not into certain things, but it's just more so like this is still a harmful mindset for people to grow up on because of the fact that a lot of people start watching this stuff really, really young. This does affect how your brain develops. It affects how you start to think about having intimacy with women and what you expect from women. And
Or
if
what
a
is
woman doesn't,
beauty? What is
yes, and if
beauty? Like whenever I see some
what,
NFL player
yes,
has gotten a girl knocked up, it's a BBL Latin woman with big giant huge lips and eyes that are so closed because the eyelashes are hanging so low.
right. And I
That
also
is
think
considered
that
beauty. And I'm like, Kim Kardashian looking girls are not considered beauty. That is not beauty. My black is
no,
beauty. Get out my face. It's because it's not we could say sex. It's not sex. So that's what I was
yes,
trying to tell him. I said,
yes.
y'all get sex and beauty confused.
I agree because it's about what you're seeing in this industry is connected to your sexual parts or whatever, and you are confusing your sexual attraction to attractiveness, and that's not real. Like, yes, it's not real, but
That
it
was a
does
good
have
point.
real effects on people, you know? So it's like when you see these things, and especially because white women are promoted, certain things are promoted, interracial corn is fetishized. It's a thing, it's a category. Like when you start to put women and people into categories off of this the corn industry, it's not like this isn't reality, but people are living in that in their mind and how they treat people because oftentimes men have an addiction to this. Women, I feel like usually don't, but men do. Like they get intimacy and watching this stuff very confused, and it affects their ideas about how to treat women and what to expect from women. And if a woman isn't letting them be violent with them, if a woman isn't letting them be dominant, um, or awful to them, they think, oh, you're a bad woman. I don't want to. You're too much. You're aggressive. You're this. No, God forbid a woman protects themselves and doesn't want to be R worded in the bedroom, like, or taken advantage of. Like that's very real as a fear for that all women I think have. Like we all have this fear, but it's just very it's amplified when it's a racial issue because of the fact that people want to blame race for this difference that people just protect themselves. Like no, it doesn't make you worse because you're protecting yourself. That's crazy. But I think that men like that feel a type of way because they're insecure. They're very insecure about it, and they want to blame women because I feel that a lot of these men are actually very attracted to black women, but they're mad that black women don't let them abuse them. They don't let them do these things to them or treat them poorly because they know better. And that gets them tight. That gets them upset. And it gets them angry and they want to make comments that, "Oh, you're not better. You're not my type. You're not my preference." Like why would you even be bringing black women up if you don't even care about them, allegedly? Obviously you do. You feel a type of way that you need to make it known to black women that you're upset, that they don't choose you either. So it's just very interesting to me. I feel like it goes both ways in that regard, you know?
I agree. I think what we're gonna end it on, well, two things, but number one, what do you think is like something that could help? Because I give advice, but it's nice that it's coming from your
Mhm.
mouth as well. Like, because people think when I say this, oh, you don't like mixed kids, you don't like Latin people. That's not true. I love all people. I just call BS when I call BS because of
Yeah.
colonization. Yeah. I want people to love them for them and not from whiteness that is put onto them. That is just who
Mhm.
I am. But I think about like, what advice can I give to young girls of it could be Latin or black, like just for I don't know, I guess like dating, like you're going into college. Like basically the reason why I started turning into dating content was because when I started dating, I realized how dangerous it could be for black women. I realized how dangerous it could be for everyone, Latinas, Asian.
Mhm.
It's so dangerous and there's a lot of race related conflict, but that race related conflict is told to us as, you know what, you'll be better off as a woman if you just be submissive. So it's like,
Right.
no. So I'm just like, what can I tell the black girls, like, or anybody to just, because I felt like giving, after that conversation, I was about to give up. I really was. He made me think that he was a Black Panther, and then he started saying how, well, my friends are happily married and interested. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hold on, hold on.
I think that's also
Black
a
women
part of it
can't do
too.
that. Black women do the same thing. Huh?
Right. I think that's also a part of it too. We didn't yet touch on about the whole. A
Oh yeah.
lot of men don't keep their friends in
Hold their
check
friends
about these
accountable.
things.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
touch on that first.
And I think that it's a huge. Sorry, I can't. Can you mute yourself?
Oh, so
That's okay. I don't know why it's doing that. I think that it's such a this is for anybody, first of all, not just black men, but we all know, I feel like as women, because we've seen it, we've experienced it, when you interact with a man and you start to get to know what their friends are like, or you hear in passing what their friends are like, they may not even be anything like this person that you're talking to, but it's very jarring to hear sometimes the things that their friends do or accept or what they accept about their friends, it's so jarring. It's like you as a man maybe know allegedly what's right and what's wrong. However, when your friend does it, your male friend does it, you will accept that bad behavior because what is it? You're afraid of losing a friend. You don't want to make new friends. You think that it's not manly of you to just sit there and take that disrespect or have somebody disrespect somebody else. It's very strange to me. I think I don't understand that, I think men want to say women are so quick to cut people off. I'm like, maybe it's just we have boundaries and we know that, I'm not quick to cut people off at all. I actually give people a lot of chances. I give people chances to explain themselves, but I feel like there is a limit to what you should be willing to accept in your friend group because your friends are still a reflection of you. Whether you are not doing those things or not doesn't really make a difference when you're accepting those people around you in your life because you that means that you are a um what's the term when it's like you just don't do anything and uh you're just kind of like a passerby. You're like a oh my god, I forgot the word for that. But it's like you are basically just willing to sit there and let bad things happen to people without action. Like you don't want to take action because maybe you're afraid and that to me is just sad. Like you should be willing to quote unquote man up and say something. And it doesn't even mean that you have to cut somebody off, but check somebody. Clock it. Like why are you sitting here accepting bad behavior, seeing your friends treat women badly, seeing them be colorist, seeing them be racist? Why? Like, that has a lot to be said. Is it just because you want acceptance? Like, I think if men want male acceptance so bad, you should not even be dating women. That's a whole conversation I feel like to be had. Why do you want male acceptance so bad in your friend group? I'd rather be alone than to even have any friends if they were all that way, you know?
I agree. No, I completely agree. Sorry, my phone is like overheating. Try to like figure it out. But next
That's
time
okay.
we're gonna do this live on my laptop. But I'm glad we had this conversation. We're gonna go deeper into this. We're
Oh,
gonna talk
advice
about
too. We wanted to talk about advice.
yeah, like what could you say to me? Because you're the one that helps me, and then
Mhm.
I come on here and help other people.
I was just
What
gonna
do
say
you?
that, you know, I feel like it's so easy as a woman, especially when you see the same thing over and over again, to want to
Yeah.
give up.
Yes.
If you have
Sorry,
these
I was talking.
experiences over and over again, it's so easy to want to give up and think that everybody is one way. Because it's very frustrating, and it's very frustrating to feel like you have to be an educator when you date somebody. You have to know everything when you date somebody. You have to protect yourself. You have to have boundaries. It's terrible, and it's like it's also just terrifying as a woman to date people, but don't let time also and bad experiences make you give up because there are good people in this world. If you're a good person out there, know that there are more people like you. Even if it's like far and few in between, like know that there are still people who are activists, there are still people who care about their community, there are still people who want to learn about you, there are still people who would love you for who you are. it might take a while to meet these people because having boundaries is hard. And it might mean that you need to say no 1,000 times just to meet somebody that you can say yes to, that appreciates you for who you are and your culture. Um, and I just think that's the thing is that, it's so easy to want to a lot of people in relationships nowadays are there because they settled. They're there because they just wanna be in a relationship, they're lonely, they're insecure, you know, and they just want someone to validate them and to make them feel good. And that's why a lot of people's relationships, they wanna complain and complain about this man in their life or this woman in their life, and then they never leave them because they're lonely. And people are afraid of being alone, like, it's okay to say no to people, it's okay to not accept less for yourself. It's okay to have it's not even just standards, it's boundaries. Like, I hate when people wanna say women have high standards, people have high standards, like, being treated like a human being is not a high standard. Like, it is not too much to ask a man to treat you with respect. It's not. It never was and never should be considered that way. Like, we should not even be pushing this narrative to ourselves. So never let anybody tell you that. If you feel yourself starting to meet these men who want to argue with you about what it's like to be a woman when they're not one,
Sorry to cut you
hang
off.
up
I
the
just
phone.
wanted to say thank you, Ali. I appreciate it. I don't know if it's Ali. It's probably Ali. Thank you, Ali, so much
Oh
for
yeah,
the compliment. I don't want to seem like I was ignoring you, but sorry.
no, it's okay. But yeah, that's just part of my advice. I feel like, you know, I think that a lot of people are very afraid to be alone and don't be afraid to be alone. It doesn't make you less than anybody that's in a relationship. And it's hard sometimes to see this couple content out there that's very like misogynistic, very one-sided. A lot of people pretend like their relationship is so great and then like years later you'll find out that they had the most terrible breakup, most violent breakup ever. Like this isn't something that's like, unheard of. I just think that we all have to kind of tell ourselves that it's not us, and continue being yourself and a good person because it will pay off. Like waiting, until the time is right for yourself is not a bad thing. And being alone in the meantime is not a bad thing either because you know how much work and personal work and growth that you can get done while you're alone? And that also will help you say no to bad people. You don't need to settle in a relationship to just feel good about yourself. You should start with feeling good about yourself by yourself. Because that will help you say no to bad people. And we should all be
I
doing that.
agree with that. I just think I personally need to work on that. You know the girl I used to be. I miss this girl. Y'all never even seen her. I used to be, oh my god, like did not give a crap. Like
Mhm.
nothing. Like I don't even know if I was dating, but I think I was like talking to people who are not that
You
great.
were,
You
but
know
I
what
feel
I'm
like
saying?
it wasn't as serious, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't take it serious. Like I didn't take anything serious, but I do love this girl that I have to find again, and I'm trying. But now that I know, I have so much weight of the world on
Mhm.
me. It's so hard to get her back. That 22-year-old, and not the way I looked. I'm talking about the way I felt, and it wasn't because of how I literally acted like an old lady. Like I had such an old soul, but it was more so my attitude. I was so much. I didn't cry. Cry when? I cried maybe I don't know 2 3 times a year. Like now I cry all the time because of racial issues. I don't even think I thought about racial issues back then.
Yeah, I feel like too though it is a good and a bad thing because I feel like a lot of people want so bad to be ignorant because it's hard to look. It's really hard and it's painful to look at parts of reality like we don't want to see. Like we don't want to see these issues. We don't want to see that people of your own race could hate themselves so much they act like they hate you too. Like we don't want to see that. But unfortunately there are people that are so traumatized they do that, you know? And I think though at the same time when you understand that you can avoid these people and you can grow from that. And that's the only, positive part of it is that you can be stronger and also talk to people like this, how we're doing now, to tell them that that's not all that's out there, you know? You don't have to act like these people or divest to a different race because it's like I hate when people also say, they get mad at women, specifically black women, for wanting to date black men, like, and just tell them, well, divest, divest, divest. Like, you should date a white person instead. Like, why is it always that white people are the alternative? Like, why are we? This is just propaganda. Like, it is. Like, it is full on. Like, we should be, telling each other that it's possible because it is. Like, even statistically, it's proven that black relationships are still a thing, heavily still a thing, more so a thing than anything else. So it's just like, why are we telling ourselves this? I just think that people lose hope. People lose hope because it is easy to lose hope when you're shown something so much. But, at the same time, it's like you can't save certain people who don't wanna save themselves. You can't educate these people because they don't wanna be educated. There are people out there who are worth educating and talking to, who want to be seen, who wanna change. I feel like those are the people worth talking to, and everybody else, if you wanna be left behind and you wanna hate yourself, we just have to let them, unfortunately. But I do think it's not great when it affects other people, but at the same time, you have to learn how to be strong throughout all that and have that faith in yourself that you're not gonna lose yourself in it. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it makes perfect sense. I think that's where we're gonna end on like the 30-minute mark because I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope we have more conversations like this, but I just want to let my new subscribers and remember to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to DJ Triple A. It's underscore AAA.
yeah,
um, you make a lot of cool music, so I love that. And you're my best friend for probably 7 years now.
yeah, I think it's been a while.
You've seen me go through so much and have been there for me, even starting this channel, and always supported me and supported black women. She's done my hair. She's helped me find jobs, get jobs, keep them. You've done so much for black girls in general, like just overall, like loving our hair and loving who we are. And shown me that even though there's colorism in a culture like Latin culture and my own, but to still that there's people that do love us and not to pay attention to media and stuff like that. So that's why I really liked it on here because I feel like some people think it's like a war, like I don't like or black people don't like this race or that race. Like, no, we love all people, but not all people love us. And that is what makes me cry. Like, it does. It really does. Um, so, yeah. Any last words before we end it? I'll mute it.
Um, yeah, I just think it's, even, I'm looking at, Ali's comment, the scarcity mindset, just to respond to, like, that's very true. I think, a lot of people are so scared. Like, I've had it even in my family where people are in relationships just because they're so afraid to, like, not be in one. Like, it's so damaging to think these things about ourselves that we are only worth something when with somebody else. And I think that a partnership should be a beautiful thing, but it shouldn't be fetishized. And I think that we all need to refine our self-love, in order to accept ourselves and understand that we shouldn't accept less out of men. We should hold them to higher standards. We should hold ourselves to higher standards, like I think that we're worth so much more. People are worth so much more. Like we should all be worth so much more to ourselves. And I think that we can only also achieve those things by working together and holding our friends to those standards, holding ourselves to those standards, giving good advice to other women in our lives to not be with certain men, to not accept less. Like this is how we can help each other. I think that there's so many race wars that are instigated by white people, and this has always been the case, especially between other races and ethnicities, like that we don't even see it. We think that we created these issues, but it's like no, we didn't do that to ourselves. Like white people have always been behind that. And I think that the only way to get through it is to encourage each other and to rebuild our community with each other. Like we don't have to be separate, but at the same time, we need to understand that we're all diverse and different, and to love that about ourselves, to love Black culture, to love everybody's culture and for their respective, I can't even speak, for their respective cultures, you know what I mean? Yes, Danny. Do you not see the flag?
I love
Anyways.
you. I love you, Amanda. All right, well, we're
But
gonna wrap
yes,
it up there.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's all I
Remember
have to
to
say.
like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna try to do more talks like this. Amanda does have a job that has a different schedule than me. I should be going to sleep,
Unfortunately.
but y'all, we had to get on here and have a conversation. But just want to say thank y'all. Thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you so much. I hope I'm saying it right, Allie. Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to see.
It's not worth it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Wait, it's not
Yes.
worth it. What
I agree,
happened?
Allie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Ali's comment was
No,
not
I
worth it.
was
I was
just
like, did
trying to
you get
delete
mad?
the other guy's comment.
Yeah, she is a DJ. DJ Triple A. Go follow her,
Yes, I
Ali.
am. Aspiring.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and please, please have a good night. Bye, y'all.
Yeah. That's not my main job.
Oh my God. No.
I think that's what she thought.